sit in what's called an easy seat. So an easy seat is supposed to be something that's comfortable for you. You see, if you're new to yoga classes, or if you've seen pictures of yogis, you'll see them sitting in lotus and all these crazy things that not many people can do. But what you want to do is that you want to sit in a seat that's comfortable for you. And if I turn maybe this way so you can see, if I cross my legs in front of me, and if when I do that, my back goes like this, that's not what I want to do. I want to keep my pelvis forward a little bit, keeping the normal curvature in my lower back as I lift up out of my seat. So I want my seat to be grounded, but I want to lift up. So to do that, I can use my blanket. I can roll my blanket so that I can sit up, so that my knees are a little bit lower than my hips, and I can tilt my pelvis forward this way a little bit instead of rounding back this way. And that helps me to sit up straighter. It's more comfortable. The other thing is that I want, if my legs are crossed, I want one leg to be in front of the other, not on top of each other. Because if they're on top of each other, it's soon not going to become an easy seat anymore. It's going to become an uncomfortable seat because one leg is going to fall asleep. So try to keep your legs separated. Now, if you have tight hips or if your knees bother you, you can always put blocks underneath your knees. And that also helps to tilt your pelvis forward a little bit to take some of that pressure out of your lower back. Another way to sit in an easy seat is, some people prefer, now this might not be good if you have bad knees. Some people like to sit on a block like this. You can even sit on 2 blocks if you have blocks available to you. Sit back like this. It's actually quite comfortable if your knees are okay. So play around. You can also use, if you don't have a blanket or you prefer, you can also sit on 1 block and bring your knees out wide like this too. So, but think about allowing your sits bones to kind of drift off of the blanket or the block that you're sitting on so that your pelvis can move forward and you can sit up straighter for longer. So play around with your easy seat for a second. You can even, if you'd like to, if you are on a block or your blanket and your legs get tired or they hurt somehow, you can always bring your legs out front like this too. That's fine. Or you can sit against the wall. Prop yourself up on the wall with your back on the wall. You have a lot of different options to do. So I'm going to come to my easy seat. I'm going to turn around this way so you can see me a little bit better. Feeling yourself grounded down, pelvis tilting forward just a little bit. Inhale your arms up overhead, and as you do that, lengthen up through your spine. Feel yourself really lifting up. And then as you exhale, bring your right arm down, and then your left arm can come across for a nice side bend. And then inhale back up to center. And then exhale, we'll bend to the other side. Inhale, back up to center. And move again to the right. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Coming back up through center, exhale your hands down at your sides. Every time you inhale, before you move, it's a good idea to think about Rooting down and lengthening up through your side waist, through your spine to create length and space between your vertebrae, between your ribs. It will help you to move further, and it's also good for your spine. Inhale. This time we'll inhale up, lengthening up through the spine, and then as we exhale, we'll twist over towards your right. Bring your left hand down to your right knee and twist over. You can look over your back shoulder, or you can look to the side wall, whatever feels good for you. And then inhale back up to center. Lengthen up through your spine, and as you're lengthening, do the twist as you're lengthening, and then exhale and bring your hands down. Back arm can come down to the ground behind you. And then inhale up. And exhale. We'll do one more to each side. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale back up to center. And exhale your hands down at your sides. Bring your arms out wide and place your hands on your shoulders. We're going to do some circles with our elbows. Well, first we'll bring our elbows forward as far as we can. You might not be able to bring them all the way forward if you have tight shoulders or tight pectoralis muscles in the front. They might not come all the way together, that's okay. Bring them as far forward as you can. And bring awareness to your shoulder blades. And notice what's happening to your shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades are connected to your arms. And so wherever your arms move, that's how your shoulder blades move. And then bring your elbows out to the sides and back. And squeeze your shoulder blades together. Again, bringing awareness to those shoulder blades. And then forward and back. Next time you bring your shoulder blades, your elbows forward, bring your elbows up, and notice again what happens to your shoulder blades. They lift up your back, the side of your back. And then rolling your elbows back, squeeze them together, and then bring your elbows down, and your shoulders will come down too. So you're really opening up through the chest here, and getting a nice stretch through the pectoralis muscles. And roll, keep rolling and noticing and bringing awareness to your shoulder blades. And then you can bring your hands down at your sides. Now we'll just roll those shoulders without bringing our elbows into it. And if I ask you to roll your shoulders back and down, that's what I mean, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. So you might be able to see, if I take my shirt off here, if I do this movement so that you can see the back of me, you'll notice if I do this with my hands on my shoulders, and if you can notice my shoulder blades coming up and squeezing together and then coming down. And then they come forward, up, back, and down. So, keeping that in mind, grab a hold of your strap or your towel, place it behind you, kind of so that it's there when you need to grab it. So it's right back behind me. Inhale your arms up overhead, stretching up long, bring your hands together and bring your hands down center line. And then as you inhale, interlace your fingers together and push your arms forward, stretching out through your upper back. Inhale your arms up overhead, and if this hurts your shoulders, you don't have to go up so far. You can stay here, You can even bring your arms out wide. And then bring your hands down behind you. Pick up your strap about hip width apart. Bring your elbows together behind you. Roll your shoulders back and down as you straighten your arms, and then begin to lift your arms away from your chest. And then bring your hands back down towards you. You can drop your strap. Inhale your arms up overhead, and exhale your hands down center line. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, interlace your fingers together, push your arms forward, really grounding that upper back. Inhale, arms can come up overhead, any position feels good for you. And then bring your arms down behind you. If you can, if you have the ability, you can interlace your fingers together, roll your shoulders back and down, or pick up your strap and do what we did before. Lift your arms away, opening up through the chest. And exhale your hands down. Inhale your arms up overhead, lengthening up through the spine. Exhale your hands down center. You can move your strap away, out of the way. Your blanket, if you were sitting on a blanket, we're going to come to a tabletop position. So if you have knee sensitivity, you can always put a blanket underneath your knees, like this. And tabletop, your fingers, you want your fingers spread really wide. I like to have my index fingers pointing forward. Some people have their middle finger pointing forward. Pressing down, your shoulders are over your wrists, and your hips are over your knees. And then think about bringing your elbows in towards each other so that your elbow creases, if I come this way, then you can see better your elbow creases. And if I do this, see where my elbow creases are, they're facing towards each other. And if I just bring my elbows, I feel like I'm bringing them together. My elbow creases come forward. And then push up out of my shoulders. Engage a little bit in my abdomen. And then we'll inhale, or let the belly drop and arch and look up. And then as we exhale, pull the belly in and up and round and look down. Again, we're back to our cat and our cows. Inhaling, arching and looking up. Exhale, round and look down. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and look down. I'm going to come back over this way so you can see. The next time we come through a cow, this is a cow. As you exhale, bring your elbows straight back toward you so that your forearms come right down onto the ground. Your hips come back towards your heels into kind of a child's pose. If you don't get down that far, that's fine. You can come to wherever. And then on your next inhale, push into your hands, come back up, arch your back and look up. And then as you exhale, you can round and bring your elbows back down and come down. Moving back and forth at your own pace, arching and coming back. One more time. And the next time you come back into your child's pose, this is a child's pose. Child's pose can be done. I'm going to take this away for a minute so you can see. And I might use this blanket. Child's pose, your knees can be together, and so that your chest is right on top of your knees. It gives you more of a rounding in your back. Your legs can be, knees can be further apart with your toes together. Stretching your arms out gives you more of a flat back child's pose. You can, when you come back, because maybe you have some tightness somewhere or something is going on with your body at the moment and it doesn't feel right to come all the way back down here, You can take a blanket and put it between your legs, like this. You can take one of your blocks, place your forehead down on your block, or you can just stay up here. Whatever feels good for you in your body. But wherever you are, where your toes can be tucked or they can be flat, wherever you are, try to relax into this pose and breathe. And take a few more breaths here. And then come back into tabletop position, moving any props away that you might have, but bringing your blocks, if you have blocks. These may be helpful for the next pose that we're going into. Place your hands on the highest part, you may make your blocks to be the highest, and place your hands there. And then you can bring your right leg forward. Maybe it comes to here. Maybe you need to help it to get forward. That's fine. Or maybe you need to bring it out a little bit wider. That's fine. You would just want to get your foot up here. Again, if you need your blanket underneath your knee, go ahead and put it there. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift up, trying to get as straight as we can, lifting up out of the side waist. And then exhale, move forward. So we're feeling that stretch in the back hip. And then move back. You can move your blocks back with you if you have blocks. Lift your toes up off if that feels okay for you. Feeling that stretch all along the back of your leg, calf, the hamstrings. Trying to keep your hips level as you move back and forth. So we're going to move forward and back. Trying to keep, again, the hips level so they don't go over to one side this way or this way, even when you're back here. And try not to go, a lot of people try to go like all the way down. If they have that flexibility at their knees, they go all the way down and they think that they're getting a really good stretch. But if you keep your hips up a little bit higher, don't go down as far, try to keep your hips level, you'll feel that you're really getting a better stretch this way. Might be harder, but isn't that the way it always is? And move forward and back. So we'll move a couple times forward and back. The next time you come forward, we'll stay forward. Feeling that stretch in your back, hip opener here. Your hip flexor. Breathe. Lifting up tall out of your waist, pressing down with your hands. And if you feel okay here, you can do it here. Or if you don't have blocks, you can even place your hands on your knees. And then we'll come back. If you don't have blocks, this one's kind of tricky. We'll stay back here for a couple of breaths. Breathing. Trying to keep your back as straight and lifted as you can. And then we'll come forward and bring that knee back, and we'll take the other leg forward. Again, moving back and forth. Inhaling and exhaling. You can inhale on the way forward and exhale on the way back, or do it the opposite way. It doesn't really matter. But breathe. Breathing's good. Moving back and forth a few times. Moving before we stay in one position sometimes is nice. This time we'll hold it, stretching out the back. And moving back, and we'll hold it for a few breaths here. Breathe. Coming forward. And we'll bring that knee back. And set your blocks down to the side. Place your hands on the ground, coming into a tabletop position. We're going to come up to stand. So if you have a down dog in your practice already, you're welcome to push up through a down dog. Really bringing your knees up off of the ground and pushing back through your arms into upside down V. And then walking your feet forward between your hands and coming up to stand. Or you can